All right, people, welcome back to RPG Limit Break 25. I'm your host, Dracodan, for this next run of Octopath Traveler 2, which I believe we are all ready for. So I'm going to kick it over to Bramhall-the-Fifth to take through this run of Octopath Traveler 2.
Hello, RPG Limit Break 2025. My name is bramhallthefifth. This is Octopath Traveler 2. I'm going to have my two co-commentators introduce themselves real quick.
Yo, I'm Jello. I haven't played the game in like 3 years, but I'm here.
This game came out 2 years ago.
Oh, my bad.
Hi, I'm Sanjan. I haven't played this game for like a year, but we're here.
Yep. All right. So the conceit behind this game is that you have these 8 characters. They have their own individual scenario, and what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to recruit all of them one by one and have them help each other in battle in order to succeed in their personal quests. But for this run, I will be picking one of 3, if I can find the other 2, characters. And if we can get confirmation on who is the winner of the bid war.
It's currently Osvald by a very large margin.
All right. And I'm going to take this character and I'm going to complete his story with only Osvald by himself. So time starts when I click yes here. So that'll be 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. It's fine. So we start out, Osvald is in prison. His story is that somebody murdered his wife and child and framed him for it. And so he's been in prison for like a few years now, I think. Here we're being introduced to Osvald's path action. Every character has 2 ways in which they can interact with NPCs, one during the day and one at night. Osvald's night path action is called Mug, and basically you can 1v1 certain NPCs and take all their items if you win the fight. The other one, Scrutinize, is going to be tutorialized in a little bit. So right now, Osvald is planning his escape. So what he needs is an accomplice. So supposed to scrutinize all these guys one by one. Basically, Scrutinize is you interact with the NPC and you can get information from them. I already know who the correct option is. It's that guy. So that's part 1 done. I think next... I don't remember what this guy does. He gives you like a coat or something.
I think basically story-wise, like he's trying to like really detailed plan out like where there's like a sufficient like sort of like break around the area so that he can
so he needs a
escape.
Disguise. I think he's trying to find a disguise now, and the last one he's going to get an escape route. So, later on in the game, there's going to be NPCs I can scrutinize that you don't have to do for story, and scrutinize is like a percent-based success path action. So I'm going to be banking on like as low as like 24% scrutinizes to get items. Osvald's really useful for as a solo character because both of his path actions can get him items. So you're gonna be seeing me going around and beating up a lot of NPCs for their stuff.
The nice thing also about like even failing like scrutinizes or whatnot is, well, like so there's a system where like if you fail to scrutinize or in some cases like fail to mug someone, that counts, or there's like a maximum of 5 failures that you can do before you can't do any more path actions. When you can't do any more path actions,
you have to pay off the bartender to let you do it. I'm going to correct you on that one. Mug does not lose reputation.
Right.
Right. None of the night actions.
Right, I forgot. In this game, all the night actions where it involves like combat or like some kind of rogue actions, they don't decrement the counter. It's only day actions.
All right.
Which is very interesting because Octopath, there's a lot of like new stuff and quality of life changes that has changed over from Octopath 1.
Okay, so right now we're entering the first dungeon. Osvald's first chapter is pretty unique in terms of speedruns in that we actually have to do quite a bit of grinding. Most characters for their first chapter can kind of just either run straight to the boss or just pick up 1 encounter worth of experience just for an extra level. But here I actually want to learn an entire skill, which is going to take 30 job points before I even think about talking to the boss coming up.
Yeah, you want double encounters in this area because it gives you a decent amount of job points, whereas most of the single encounters, especially the low-level ones, give you barely any JP. So this one's like not great.
I mean, it's a higher level guy, so
Yeah.
it's a little better.
This basically guarantees that you need one extra encounter, right?
I don't know. Depends if I see bats, I think.
Oh, okay.
I think that's give you less or more than the wizards.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I should mention, I promised a solo run. I'm given a temporary party member here. Don't worry about it. It doesn't. He's going to leave the party right after this chapter. You can get quite a few temporary party members, only for like intro chapters. Most of them die actually, so it's fine. This is really good. I might actually get 30 after this.
Yeah, that's pretty good luck. Yeah, it's always good to see like double encounters
I
here.
don't even remember this encounter.
Yeah, the bubbly guys are really good, high value. That's
wisp.
33 right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's really good.
So I can just learn advanced magic right now.
Yeah, so what advanced magic does is, so basically in Octopath 1, you had a system where you could cast Fireball where it hits once, Firestorm where it hits twice, and then later on with the Sorcerer class, Ignis are there, but they changed the system slightly in this game where you only get single cast, but you need to cast an extra spell like advanced magics in order for your Fireball to become Firestorm.
Yeah. It's pretty necessary because this guy is quite tanky, and Emerald is really no help in this fight at all.
Yeah, a lot of Emerald's role would just be supporting and just chucking, helping out Mr. Osvald.
Plum and Grape. Oh, yeah, this guy hits pretty hard, and he's got two guys with him, and he has a lot of HP. So I really want the ability to double cast.
Oswald doesn't have a chapter 2, right? So this guy like counts as his chapter 1 and chapter 2 boss?
There's a chapter 2 right after this.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, there's like a run in a straight line pretty much.
Oh, yeah.
Emerald might die. So I'll see what happens here. Oh yeah, so pretty shortly we're going to be introduced to latent power. Sanjan, if you want to explain what that is.
Yeah, so latent power is like a special sort of attack or ability that you can do once you've either taken enough hit point or enough damage, or you've restored it through the use of a leechy. So in this case, Oswald's latent power is that his attacks will target a single person but deal a lot more damage.
All right, Emerald got killed, so he's gonna resummon the guards because how much I can do about it.
This is not a great start so far, but pretty much still workable through.
I have one more charge of advanced magic. I think I can just get rid of these guys. Okay, cool. All right, not too bad.
Nice.
Thankfully, that movie uses that stuns him. I think that only targets Emerald.
Yeah, in terms of Oswald's latent power, if you know what Aliphin's Enlightenment does in Octopath 1, it is pretty much the same effect.
Yeah.
They actually changed Aliphin's Enlightenment in Octopath 2.
It's very good for that fight. It's pretty much useless for the entire rest of the run. But double damage is always nice. It's just that the magic damage falls off for the purposes of this run, and we get much better options.
Yeah. It's better in full game categories.
Yeah, Galdera in particular, the one where you fight the super boss, is it's pretty. You use it, I think, pretty much every turn.
Yeah, just mainly because advanced magic is a setup move, and some setup moves can be quite slow.
So in Oswald's story, you go straight from chapter 1 to chapter 2, but chapter 2 is just like one fight with two guards here, and you just nuke them with magic, pretty much. Magic is still good at this point.
Yeah, in this game, each character sort of has staggered amounts of chapters. Lengthwise, they're pretty much the same, but
if the host wants to add anything, this is a pretty good downtime.
Okay, yeah, we have $25 from Silent Lamentation, who says, "It's my favorite week of the year again. Thanks so much for putting this event together, people. We need it now more than ever in these tough times. Looking forward to some Octopath goodness right now. An RPG limit break hype.
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 And we have $25 from Amy, who says, I love Octopath and love Octopath 2 even more, but I haven't seen any speedruns of 2 yet. I look forward to an interesting and fun run. Good luck to the runner, the hosts, and the commentators. P.S. Hi, Jello.
What's up, Amy?
All right, so Emerald just kind of sacrificed himself to create a distraction for Osvald to get away. So now the solo run actually begins.
Yeah, so a cool thing about solo runs is normally with the fastest route, you recruit 4 characters in Octopath 2, but the really cool thing about solo runs is that you basically have to get all the resources for yourself, and you get to see more, especially in this game, like boss mechanics, and you have to especially work around them.
Yeah.
The solo runs are basically like a challenge run of sorts, and they became popular as speedrun.
Yeah, the first game had an achievement for doing a solo run. This one doesn't. Because technically one of them isn't doable. There's a character named Temenos who needs to go to a city, but he has to get rid of an NPC blocking one of his destinations, and he just has no way of doing it.
Yeah, I think at least for him, for solo runs of Temenos, it is legal to bring Cassidy along for that.
What am I doing now?
We're playing Gotcha.
Oh, never mind.
Oh.
Gambling is over.
So yeah, the Soulstone shop is like a 1 in. It's a 15% chance to show up. Wait, I didn't mug the guy. Okay, huh?
It's okay. That's just more gambling.
It's just more gambling. I do have to visit the Soulstone shop twice, and so now I got to do it 3 times.
Yeah, so this guy here has a good amount of money for a mug. That's why mugs are really valuable, because a lot of these NPCs are pretty much easy to beat up.
I'm like, the items I have don't look right. What could have gone wrong there? All right, so we're gonna get instant clerics again. So basically, the shop only comes at night, and the shops you can get is it's random, and they're unfortunately not even evenly distributed. So the shop I just bought from is a 50% chance to show up, and then the Soulstone shop is 15%. Got it again.
Game's too easy.
Yeah, exactly. So I bought the ice M already, so
Yeah.
I just need 8 fire M's. All right.
It's fitting for Oswald to have that much fire.
Oh my god. Does one of you want to explain evasive maneuvers?
Yeah. The first after he gets 2 skills in the scholar class, he'll get evasive maneuvers, which I think lowers the encounter rate by 2.5.
Yeah.
2.5x, and encounters are kind of bad. So
Yeah, starting with Osvald's really nice because he is a scholar, so he comes with a scholar ability. Everybody else has to go to the scholar guild to pick up the class, and that can sometimes be annoying because you get high level encounters on the way. Like that guy that mob I just killed was level 20, and I'm level I think 11 right now. Oh, significantly less than 11.
Yeah, so in higher level areas, you have a higher chance generally of being ambushed. And generally, if you get ambushed when you're really low level, you're pretty much down for the count. But
yeah, that particular dungeon's really bad about it too. I can get stuck there for like 4 or 5, even 3, 4, 5 deaths, just trying to get evasive maneuvers.
Octopath Traveler 2 also has like a gimmick that's different from Octopath Traveler 1, where the first encounter on any given screen happens twice as fast. So you really need evasive maneuvers if you want to get through some screens.
Yeah. Also, those soulstones. I didn't even talk about what soulstones are. They do fixed damage pretty much, and there's medium ones which do 1100 damage, and there's large ones that do 2700 damage, and the small ones are 200. And then of course, when you break enemies, something else we didn't talk about, they do double damage. So that can be up to 5400 with just an item.
one thing as well is that, so for weaknesses, so this game drives on a weakness-based system. So when you hit an enemy with its weakness, for example, the bird's weak to, I believe, fire. I forget.
That bird's weak to ice.
Ice. It only has 1 shield, and it will go down to 0 shields, and it will take essentially double damage. One also additional thing is that if you hit an enemy with its weakness, that damage is increased by 1.3 times. So, for example, that soulstone that you saw that deals base 1100 damage, it dealt 4 to 30 damage instead.
Yeah.
And its base damage is especially important. And buying these soul stones is also really important because of what Jello mentioned about evasive maneuvers. Because of the changes to evasive maneuvers in this game, you essentially have to take an encounter in this game, especially in the higher level areas. So having those soul stones is extremely useful.
Yeah, so I just use Elemental Barrage there, which does random hits with either fire, ice, or lightning. And so basically I just throw that and hope that I hit a weakness and that I can kill in one turn. Kind of the other combat mechanic is the boost points. You saw in fights that there were like yellow dots in the top right corner. Basically you get one of those every turn unless you used one on the previous turn. And what they do is they power up your attacks. And did not get a nice soulstone drop, sadly. I do not need to buy that. Whoops. Okay, whatever. I'll stop.
There's an herb up the ladder, right? If you like.
I already took it.
I think that's part of the route, isn't it?
Yeah, I already sold it. Yeah, okay, so I go to Canal Brine now. Boost points. They power up your attacks. And another really good thing about soul stones is that you don't need to boost them, and they still will do a lot of damage. So, for example, this chick right here, I just throw one soul stone, and I can save. If this fight were to last more than one turn, I would save boost points for later. So I'm going to go on a bit of a mugging spree here. I really do need like a lot of money for this category. This guy I think is staffing him. Oh, I could have used Barrage on this guy. He's weak to lightning. Whatever.
Yeah, the thing about this is that because you're solo, you need a lot more money. Mainly because in a normal speedrun of this, you would have the ability to use stuff like Armor Corrosive or Throne's Night buff.
Yeah, you have to get kind of creative when it
or
comes.
Tevenos.
You have to get kind of creative when it comes to. Oh wait, no, this guy is not. This guy's more health. I gotta throw a stone at him. You have to get kind of creative with how you accumulate your resources, especially with some of the less capable characters. Osvald, thankfully, can get a lot of items and a lot of money, but it is a little bit costly because I do have to engage in combat with each NPC individually, and some of them are kind of tanky. Like I've selected people with valuable items who also aren't very strong. Like this guy right here is level 1, I think. Yeah, so he has 280 HP.
Yeah, so the amount of HP they have corresponds generally to the amount of stars they have, like, on that screen you see when you log them. So I think 2 stars is like 11, like 1,000-ish HP or so.
Yeah. So this guy's not weak to Elemental Barrage at all, so I will break him once with my staff. And then I will use 2 boost points to power up my Fireball. And obviously if he weren't broken there, that would have done about 180 damage, a little bit less.
Yeah, every boost point you use boosts your damage by, I believe, 1.3.
It depends on the skill, I think. And then
depends on the skill, yeah.
You can also boost your regular attacks, and that will cause them to hit multiple times, and you can use that to take out more shields. All right, so now I'm going to do an optional side quest. One thing that becomes pretty important when you're only using one character is bad status protection. So I know one of the bosses that's coming up can inflict sleep on me, and if I only have one character, that's pretty debilitating. So I'm going to go and get a piece of gear that will stop me from going to sleep. Also, I'm walking on these screens because I know that if I run, I'll probably get an encounter, but I can delay the encounter by moving slowly.
So in Octopath 1, running and walking with evasive maneuvers decrements the step counter at the same rate, but in this game they change it so that walking decrements this even slower.
Yes, and because of that first encounter penalty, it's pretty valuable to have that as a mechanic. So I can avoid this encounter if I walk the entire way, but it's not guaranteed and that's slow. And this gets me some extra job points as well.
Yeah, I believe you have to grind up to a certain amount of job points in most solos.
Yeah, most solos are going to want certain... There's at least 2 passives that most solos kind of want. All right, so if I defeating those mobs I just use an L stone on it, and that immediately deleted them, pretty much. And once I hand in the quest to the quest giver, he'll give me the reward I want. From here on, it's a little bit more exploration, so I'll hand it over to the host.
Okay, I'd just like to take this opportunity to say that one of our main sponsors this event is Dragon Roast Coffee, which is a small, passionate team of coffee roasters that are dedicated to making coffee for gamers and the gaming community. Visit their website at www.dragonroast.coffee and enter the promo code RPGLB25 at checkout for 10% off your order. In addition to their coffee, you can also purchase an exclusive dual-insulated RPG Limit Break tumbler available only for this event. And the best part is that for all purchases made using the promo code, Dragon Roast will donate a portion of the proceeds to NAMI. So, what are you waiting for? Get out there and fuel your adventure with Dragon Roast Coffee today.
What are you waiting for?
Punished.
Did you walk and get an encounter?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Ozzy is fueled with the power of coffee, whichever form it is. And,
He's fueled by the power of the fire in his breast.
The power of 8 fire soulstone M.
Yes.
Yeah, the power of throwing rocks at various things.
Another a really cool thing about this game is, about the Octopath series in general, is that all you have to do in order to enable fast travel is just enter the town and leave. So what I'm doing is I'm going to go to Osvald's Chapter 4 town. Remember, I've only just finished Chapter 2. And basically I'll be able to come back to it whenever I want. And I do have to come back here several times, actually. Oh, yeah, so this is where I get to do the 24% scrutinize. So, who wants to count to 5 with us?
I love counting.
All right. A 1.
What does this NPC have?
Wendell. A 2. A 3. Cool. All right, so this Wendell's going to come in handy on one of the bosses coming up. Winsol Sonel. Okay, I think I go back to Canal Brine. Yes.
Yeah, so I believe what you're also doing here is just basically tagging whichever towns you need to get to, and the next one you need to go to is
Conning Creek.
Conning Creek.
Yeah, so Osvald for a solo run is among one of the quicker ones, despite the fact that he has such a long intro. Part of this is because pretty much every solo character wants to go to Conning Creek, and Osvald has a chapter there, so he's not going out of his way to get there. And the same is true about Osvald's final town, Gravel. Most solo characters go there, and it's a little bit of a detour, but it's well worth the goods that you can acquire there. But Osvald has to go there anyway. Osvald does have to go out of his way to a couple other towns, but those two being part of his route are pretty big.
It's like most characters pretty much have to go in the Gravelish area, not specifically there, but around there just mainly because they need the merchant class, which we'll touch on later.
That's going to come up pretty soon. So this and on this map you get a different encounter at night based on the day. The day encounter gives more experience, but the night encounter gives more job points and money. So I value those over the day encounter.
And so in terms of job points, what are you trying to grind for?
I want to get 3. Right now I want to get 3 job points. I want to get 3 skills on merchant. So what we kind of didn't touch on is that skills will cost job points, but the more skills you have from a certain class, the more expensive they get. So the first skill is going to be 30, the second is going to be 100, and the third will be 500. So if I want 3 skills on something to unlock the second tier of passives, then I will want 630 job points. All right, so here I'm going to start Osvald's Chapter 3 because it takes place here. I'm gonna abandon it pretty quickly because I just want to get 1 chest here and then dip.
The most important chest in the game.
Yeah, pretty much. This is the rainbow glass bottle, and I'll be we'll demonstrate exactly why I need that pretty soon because I think I pick up the inventor class right after this.
My favorite class.
Yeah. It's if you're a fan of steampunk stuff, this one comes with the drip.
What would you rate the drip out of 10?
I don't know, maybe a 2.
Oh, so you're not a fan of steampunk drip?
Some people are.
think for all, I think we'll see for Oswald, but I think the drip on it for some of the characters is really nice. Honestly, the drop outfits for a lot of different characters in general are really well done.
One thing I want to see, and I want to see like sprite work of Octopath 2 characters wearing Octopath 1 job outfits and vice versa. Would be pretty cool to see. I want to see Alphen dressed like a Catboy.
Unfortunately, we don't get the Hunter class in this run.
Okay, so the Inventor class is pretty unique. It does not correspond to any of the other characters, and you actually unlock skills by handing in items rather than spending job points. So, any support skills you unlock, I go here now. Yeah, any support skills you unlock with the Inventor class will apply to every character you pick up. Which I mean, that doesn't really matter here if I have one character, but the first support skill you get for the Inventor is called a Step Ahead, and it's honestly a little bit uncalled for that they put that in the game. If one of you wants to talk about it.
So what a Step Ahead does is kind of similar to like a First Strike ability, and make sure that your character is first.
I don't need the Inventor job equipped right now, but I want everyone to see. I want everyone to rate the drip. So we're gonna see. I definitely equipped the thing, right?
Yeah, you equipped it.
A Step Ahead gives whoever has it equipped a free turn at the start of fights. This applies to... Oh, nice. Usually he doesn't attack, so that was unlucky.
Does he one-hit you even at full HP?
I wasn't at full HP.
I think the drip looks better when he's dead.
I mean, I think a lot of drip on Oswald, like, it doesn't matter what drip he wears, like, he always looks like he just means business.
Here we get to demonstrate the concept of being caught by surprise. The enemy gets a full turn before you. If you have a Step Ahead equipped, it just throws it in the trash. But yeah, so I'll talk a little bit more about how overpowered a Step Ahead is. You get a boost point for the Step Ahead turn, and if you had a full team, your entire party gets a boost point, regardless of whether or not they even had a Step Ahead equipped. So you get extra boost points for everybody. What else is OP about it? Oh yeah, you get bonus JP for a one-turn kill, and a Step Ahead turn does not count for that. So you can get a two-turn kill and get the one-turn kill bonus. Yeah, it's just a little bit, and it's the first passive you unlock for the Inventor class. You just need to hand in 2 Inventor skills to unlock it. It's a miracle that it's in the game, because speedruns are very hard if you don't have that. But yeah, just a little bit broken.
It pretty much trivializes like a lot of the boss mechanics, just because like in a normal speedrun, like you would pretty much deal a massive amount of damage to them all.
In a solo run, all it really does is give you a fighting chance.
Yeah, but like for normal runs, like they're dead before. Most of the time, they're dead before like they even make a move. There are some
exactly 630
single story categories that don't get Inventor, or choices where you don't get Inventor. The most that were like. So within like the past year and a half or so, recently routed in. The biggest one is probably Partitios.
All right, so I'm gonna mug this guy and run away because I don't want to get another encounter, and I'll reset the encounter rate by doing this. I don't have to do that, but I just want to be safe, pretty much. All right, so now we're gonna rate the Merchant drip out of 10.
I would rate that like a 7 or 8. This is one of his good outfits.
Yeah, it is.
I think most Merchant drips are good because either just like really stylish, or in Mr. Oswald's case, he looks like a cowboy with a serious business cowboy.
So Partitio, who is a natural merchant in this game, he has like a coat that he wears that he kind of wears it around his neck, and he doesn't have his arms through his sleeves. So Oswald's version of that is he ties this coat around his waist. I think that's pretty stylish. Oh yeah, here's hired help, by the way. What does hired help do?
I mean,
Wins the game.
Yeah, if you ask me, it's a pay-to-win mechanic. I love pay-to-win.
There. So yeah, Merchant is also a little bit uncalled for in this game. not only does he get access to hired help, but the second support skill is called Boost Start, which gives you an extra boost point at the start of battle. This was also an ability in the first Octopath Traveler. It was an ability for the Starseer, and it cost 6,000 JP to unlock. Starseer was like a post-game, kind of late-game secret job that you unlock that was locked behind a powerful boss fight. Here, the Merchant just gets it for 630 JP. So, also really good. Also, game would be really hard if I didn't have it, but also a little bit overpowered.
Yeah, they buffed. Ironically, they buff Merchant hired help like in an interesting way, primarily because for the Merchant, like back in Octopath, to deal the similar amount of damage that you would have done right now, they would have to pay 30,000 leaves.
Yeah,
but here you pay half of it, or like even less, like 7,000 for the guards, and
yeah, so 30,000 leaves was really strong in the first Octopath, but it was also kind of the only worthwhile damage that they had. Here you get a 7,000 option, you get a 7,000 option, you get a 15,000 option, and a 30,000, and they're all pretty good. The 30,000 is usually pretty overkill, and most categories don't even use it at all, but I'm going to have to use it a couple times in this run.
Yeah, I think across all categories of speedrunning, every single hired help is used, right?
Sanjan did manage to find Thespian's use, so yes.
yeah, Thespians were used, I think, in a full game category for a full game category that I had routed with Cassie.
So Inventor comes with a skill called Changeable Catapult, which just does annoying amounts of damage, and it's a little bit bugged though. So I wanted to throw my sword. I have a pretty strong sword that I picked up in the gravel area, and I wanted to throw my sword at it. But the thing is, if you just mash the weapon type for Changeable Catapult, it will default to whatever weapon you're holding. So I had to also, in order to get it to work correctly, I had to change the weapon I was holding to the sword as well, like that.
Yeah, there's a sort of PhD level thesis that you could that you could find out on the catapult. The most simplest way is that we change our base weapon to something, our strongest weapon, like we gain those effects while still hitting the weakness.
Yeah, you can abuse the changeable catapult jank to do more damage than you're probably supposed to, but Osvald doesn't have to do that. It's mostly Throne that would have to take advantage of that.
Yeah, I think sort of quick tangent to that funny story. I think it was like we found it pretty early when me, Jello, and Zero, another runner, shoutouts to him, was in the call, and we found some really weird effects with catapult.
So I went pretty far out of my way to Sai there. Osvald never has to go to Sai, but it's the next town over from Conning Creek, and I really want that revitalizing jam that he has. I think I'm going to scrutinize this guy.
Yeah, and solos are like the really powerful jams, like revitalizing, reinforcing jams, and large bombs are really important because you don't have a really reliable way to get boost points, and you're alone.
What the revitalizing jam will do is it will fully heal my HP and my SP, which are what you use to cast skills, and give me a full stack of 5 boost points. You can only use up to 3 in a single turn, but being able to use 5 is good because then you can save up the third one. You can use 3, save up a third one for the turn after, and then you can max boost again just off the one revitalizing gem. Yeah, I think that's everything. Then I fight 3 guys in here for their items. This guy right here is a Nourishing Nut. Nuts are items that just give you permanent stat boosts. Nourishing Nuts will raise your HP, your max HP. And I'm going to need a lot of HP because I'm going to be able to tank a lot of hits. This guy just has some money right here. And he has a soul stone as well.
He's got a
You
nice
go to
hat.
the king.
Yeah, this guy's got some drip.
He's got some drip.
He's got like a matching hat.
Dang. If that crits, it one-shots. And the Star Splitter has a pretty high crit rate. So I was kind of banking on that. Otherwise, I could have just boosted.
Do you go to the Decaying Temple?
Not in this category, no.
Gotcha.
Here I need hired help to win. Because he's got a lot of health. Whoops. I might be dead. No, I'm fine. He's going to poison me on this first turn. I think he just kind of hits Yeah, that's fine. And now he's gone. So another thing the Beastlings can do is they will remove shield points regardless of weakness. Okay, so now I'm going to do the first part of Osvald's Chapter 3. Osvald has to have a one-on-one duel with one of his old study partners. The problem with this is that it takes place on a screen that's really out of the way from the rest of the story stuff. So I just do this and I warp out, and then I come back and do the rest of the chapter later. Here's Osvald's old house. It burned to the ground, and his family was in it. Also, here's a nice chest.
I love fire rocks.
Definitely not symbolic at all. All right, so here I'm gonna use hired help guards. This does pretty good damage. It also will delay her next turn, so
It delays the enemies next turn, so
Yeah.
it pushes back the enemy one time after each hit. So if you use like a fully boosted guards, like they basically get pushed to the end of the turn.
all right. So I'm gonna go to the next town over from Montwise, which is Merry Hills. I want this actually. It's a little out of the way, but there's a lot of good items in it and good high value mugs.
Oswald's just robbing everyone.
This might kill me. I'm fine. Oh, never mind. I'm not fine.
Yeah, the bull. And the bull does the most damage. The little porcupines.
I should consider
they're
healing.
just there.
I'm not usually this low because I don't usually get that. Let that guy that I mugged get a second turn. If Draco wants to talk about anything, while I probably get owned in Merry Hills.
Okay, well, we have $25 from Big Sfeel, who says, sheesh, get the W, Bramhall, Sanjan, and Jello. And we have $1 from Pacmog, not Mogpo Chusium 2023,
Hi, Chew.
who says, sheesh.
Sheesh.
Good luck on Incredible Octopath Crisis Traveler, Mr. Bramhall. Gregory and Susie are the best kiddies. Sheesh.
I agree. All right, so this is a level 45 area, and it's not even our level 45 area for Osvald's story, but there's a chance that I can get an encounter that's weak enough to die to guards. No, unfortunately, I have to spend an extra money here. So I have to do a backup to save a little bit of money later.
The Anteater.
Anteater's pretty infamous. I think I want the... Oh, yeah, I'm going to get, like, all the, like, piddling little money chests just to have as much buffer as possible. So that sells for 2,500. I sold one at the start of the run, too. And this guy right here is an item that sells for 25,000. So that's pretty cool. And he dies to two M stones. I think it's light. Yeah. Anything else from the host?
We've got $10 from Kirby Master.
Hi, Kirby.
Says, Ile from the
Yue.
RPG LB check-in. And that goes to Runner's Choice. Thank you very much, Kirby.
Thank you, Kirby. Another nourishing nut from this next guy. I think it's an L. Not a Riz L, it's a normal L. A nourishing L.
Big difference.
Big difference. So true.
It's a W. In
Hey, what
the
do you think of that guy's diamond sword?
Solid 7 out of 10. I can defeat this guy by throwing 2 Ice M's, but I want to save one of them for the Shadow.
Do you need the Ice M's specifically for another bug? Or
Yeah.
Gotcha.
If I buy an extra one at the shop, I probably don't have money. So, or I have a chance to not have money. Okay, so succeeding at that 48% is pretty good. First try. This is a large energizing pomegranate. Energizing pomegranates will give you BP in battle. The small one gives 1, the medium gives 2, and the large gives 4. This is an empowering necklace. It will give me 1,000 HP. Now I'm gonna load up on nuts. So that gave me a little bit of HP and magic defense. And yeah, now we're good to finish the chapter 3.
Yeah, you basically have to tank quite a bit of.
I really do, yeah.
like quite a bit of hits, especially from high level bosses.
That is not the way I want to scrutinize it. Was this guy? This guy's also 48. Okay, good.
Nice. Yeah, everything has quite a bit of boss or quite a bit of words. You have to take quite a bit of damage, especially from like the higher level or like the later bosses. So like for most solos, it's very important like that you have the HP to be able to handle that.
Yeah, and Oswald's solo in particular,
Did not mean to do that.
the Chapter 4 boss is pretty infamous for just ruining lives.
Yeah. We'll have a little bit of fun later. I did not mean to talk to that guy because that warps me there, and I want to pick up these items. Oops. All right, so I'm gonna mug this guy. He has a bit of money, and then after this, I'm gonna do the big sell. I don't think it matters. No, fire. It's fine. All right, I think I'm gonna have upwards of like 120 grand after I do this enormous sell menu. So,
Yeah, in terms of like single stories, especially like the general process for single stories and by extension solos is that you basically have to grab all the money that you need, or in some cases like solos or any specific like equipment that you need to wear to be able to survive things. And then once you've done that, then then generally
114.
you rush the bosses to the end.
So that's a lot of money, and I'm gonna need even more. There's a money chest in here I want to pick up as well. Okay, so we're actually gonna start fighting bosses now. We're 40 minutes into the run, and we're actually gonna make some story progress. These guys I'm just gonna break and run away. So that's the weakest hired help. It's the cheapest one, but it hits everybody with a sword.
Yeah, it's a nice cheap way to break or to lower shield or to break enemies and lower shield. And it also gives you a defense buff.
I can defeat them with just a Fire Soulstone M, but I don't know if I'm going to need backups later, so I decided to hang on to it.
Do you usually grab that chest?
Yeah.
Okay.
I need pretty much every money chest that I can possibly get my hands on, or that I can possibly have access to. So this guy has 2 guards protecting him. All I gotta do is press this button here and they die. So that's cool. This guy also, like for an early boss, has a lot of money on him. Merchants can collect money from enemies, so that's the $15,000 that I'm gonna use to defeat the boss.
I love the merchant class.
I think if I just do this, yeah, we're fine. So if I take too long to beat this guy, he summons the guards again, which is a little annoying because they can get turns. All right, so I'm actually getting money from this fight, despite the fact that I just spent a lot of it because he gave me $8,000. Sorry, when I say dollars, I'm talking about the money in this game. Leaves.
He doesn't give you much JP or EXP, I don't think.
Yeah, but he gives you a lot of money.
Yeah.
He gives a lot of money. He gives you 15 JP, which is pretty funny. All right, so now we're starting Osvald Chapter 4.
We call this the infamous chapter.
Yeah, both in terms of like the gameplay here. The boss here is very troublesome for a solo character, and also in terms of story because there's some disturbing things that get revealed. So first I'm gonna scrutinize these people. All of these are like percent chances to fail, but they will not reduce my reputation. They learned from the Therion. They learned from Therion single story.
The infamous 3%.
Yeah.
So for some single stories, they do require in this game they do require you to be at a specific level. Most infamously, Thronays.
Bam. Thank you. All right, so I just scrutinized to find a hidden passageway. I have to grab a couple chests in here, but I don't want to get any encounters. So I'm going to grab one of them and then just leave to reset the encounter rate.
Yeah, if you were doing like a regular single story run or just like any run that happened to go through here, there's dialogue options that pop up for Oswald.
Yeah.
And generally, you can actually use that to your advantage because in Octopath 2, going into character banter resets.
Yeah, the famous press plus will actually reset your encounter rate, which is really funny. Okay, so I'm going to take off evasive maneuvers actually because I want to put plus 500 HP over it. Rate the apothecary drip.
7.
4.
Damn, we got some divided opinions here. Yeah, this is fine.
I think it's very plain.
It's all right. Osvald gets his drip from Tantrum merch.
What about that salamander in the front?
Oh, he's dripping.
That's a 20 out of 10 drip.
Yeah.
Damn, that's like overflowing.
So this boss, that pre-fight, just those enemies give like 1,000 experience for some reason. That's more. The boss coming up gives like 900. Okay, so what this boss is going to do on its first turn is it's going to use an ability called Dissolving Darkness, and this will inflict me with like a special poison. Not have any soul stones. Okay. On every turn that it ticks, it will take away either 30% of my max HP, 30% of my max HP or SP, or 2 BP. So there, it took away my SP. That's the best thing it can do because I'm not going to use SP for the rest of the fight. But if it takes away too much of my HP, I die. And if it takes away my BP on the wrong turns, I will be unable to win. So this fight, it's just like, it can just boil down to a 1 in 3 chance to lose. Yeah, it took away my BP there, but thankfully I have another Rev Jam. I'm just going to use that now. I don't want it to take away my BP now, and it just did. I can potentially back this up. If I defend and get my BP back...
Wow.
I took it again. All right, so this is just not. This is just an L.
That's an L gaming moment. Yeah, this boss can be really mean. It's about a 1 in 3 chance to get your BP taken away, and you especially do not want it on your last turn or the last 2 turns.
Because I need to full. That's my fault.
First try.
Yeah, I need to like full burst at the very end of the fight, and if I'm losing BP, it's just not possible to win.
Don't forget to heal.
Yeah, and in the part of like the story that Jack is on or Bramhall's on now, the bosses will get 2 turns for every one of his.
Yeah.
So sometimes the bosses can just get 4 turns back to back, and as a result, you can just lose.
Yeah. In this one, I know in this fight, in this fight, every single turn is scripted. It's a complete predetermined rotation. But yeah, if I get hit too much, in addition to having 30% of my HP taken away, it's not good. Because you actually die when you run out of HP in this game, and in most games, I think. So I'm using Beastlings to chip down shields while also doing huge damage. All right.
That's rude.
It is rude, yeah. All right, I'm going to try to back it up. Nope. Exact same scenario as before.
Seated.
Exactly. Okay. So I ran this. We had a single story like relay race last year for the first anniversary of the game, and I ran this category, and I think I was stuck here for like 10 minutes, but that's pretty unlikely to. It's pretty unlikely to go just that poorly, unless the RPG Limit Break Twitch channel is cursed or something.
If I jump in with a quick message while
Yeah.
we're getting caught back up. Yeah. We have $15 from Eadwind, who says, great Octopath run featuring some of my favorite people. Hope everyone has fun this week.
I hope you have fun too.
And we have $25 from Izala, who just says, sheesh, sheesh.
All right.
This is probably like the most RNG heavy boss, even the final boss of.
Yeah, for my money, this is the worst.
RNG.
For my money, this is the worst fight in any solo run. But I haven't done all of them, but I can't imagine anything being worse than this.
I mean, Hikari solo exists.
Hikari, I think, is mostly scripted. It's just a really long
I think
fight.
Chuso is pretty bad, but I don't know how it is now.
All right.
We did it. We made it through the gauntlet wall of
Alright.
RNG.
So that was Hired Help Veteran Soldiers. Occasionally it did critical damage, and when it did quad 9s, so it's very, very good. Vets usually only did like 7,000 in the first game, so it's pretty strong. All right, so now we're going to do Osvald's final chapter, where we face off against Harvey. Harvey is another rival professor of Oswald's, and he's actually the one that murdered his family. Also, the boss I just fought was Oswald's wife. Don't question it.
What would you rate her drip?
0.
Oh, I was leaning towards 10.
96 is enough.
They've all been through enough.
All right. So before I can enter the final dungeon, I have to do 5 mugs. These guys have anywhere from 4,000 to 12,000 health. This first guy, I think, has 8,000.
Yeah, you need a good amount of money for Oswald because a lot of these mugs, like most of these enemies, have a lot of HP, and so you have to throw higher help.
I'm gonna take out 2 shields here just to avoid a damage range. So this guy's 9,000 health. It's not 8,000. I just remembered. 1 and 3 are 9,000. I still don't have evasive maneuver, so I have to be careful walking between these two between these fights. So I'm switching to day because you get more encounters at night. This guy pretty much can't hurt me unless I get unlucky. I never taught the lightning ability, so I'm relying on elemental barrage to hit that lightning
That's
weakness.
unlucky.
It is.
The villager is suffering.
too.
So are we, yeah.
He actually got a turn because that took too long.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah, basically, I think story-wise, I'm trying to remember, like, basically Harvey has been up to really no good, and a lot of these villagers have been possessed after carrying these crystals.
Yeah, he's been using the Book of Demons.
Yeah.
This guy, yeah, has the exact same health as the first guy, and so the strat will be the same. So, guards. Oh, guards also hit with staff damage, so it will take out his shields because he's weak to staff.
Yeah, veterans, I think, deal like a random combination of sword and spear damage.
It's all 6 weapons.
All 6 weapons.
Randomly. So, this woman right here is weak to all 3 elemental barrage elements. So, just break, and she has 4,000 health, so 1 L-stone will do. This last guy, I gotta be careful because he's kind of far away. Alright, so you can kill this guy with beastlings, but I want to save money. So I'm gonna... how do we do this again? Pomam... Sorry, this is a new strat I just came up with, like, the other day. To stop me from having to pick up even slower backup money. Ice M. And then crit. Sometimes, please. Okay, he's fine.
That's 3 crits, yeah.
Yeah.
Something to note too, crits deal also 1.3 times.
I think it's 25%. 25% more, I think. It does depend on what ability you use, though.
Yeah.
Like, I think Enervating Slash is infamous for having a bad crit multiplier from the warrior. Basically, loops over grows on trees. Okay, so I'm seriously still... I'm just still seriously penny pinching here. So I could defeat these encounters with beastlings in this dungeon. I want to walk a little bit, actually. But I can't afford it. So I just have to hope I can get something that I can break easily. Because you can run away for free if every enemy is broken. Or just hope I can run away quickly. I can break this, but it's going to take a while. It's Funny Revenant.
It's my favorite Funny Revenant.
Yeah, the comedian. What's their drip like?
L. I think I die here. Yeah,
Oh yeah, it's definitely Elriz.
Just did not have enough health there. I wasn't sure how much damage it would do because I wasn't looking at the screen and then damage numbers.
Yeah, they're pretty easy to break.
They were easy to break.
Yeah.
I just got cocky with how much damage I thought I could take. So there's one last money chest in here, and when I pick that up, I want to have 101,000. So hopefully I manage my money correctly. This I just have to try to. I'd have to pray.
I'm a believer.
I'm
And
not.
these birds also tend to inhibit defense on the first turn, but then they start when they start using attacks, it hurts.
Yeah, it turns out when your defense is lower, you take more damage.
Because this zone's level 45, and I think like Oswald's like level 20, it's like really hard to flee to. So
Yeah.
It typically takes about like 3 to 4 tries to flee.
You're guaranteed to run away on the 4th try, I think.
Yeah,
But it's a matter of surviving until then.
which most times, especially if there's multiple enemies, you're not living.
Okay, this guy...
It's a sword, right?
Yeah, all sword.
Yeah.
The mercs can do it.
And the really nice thing about Boost Start is here you would have 4 BP easily, and especially combined with a step ahead.
Yeah, I can just defend and then just get max boost instantly, which is very balanced. I don't need to walk the entire way. I can run a little bit now. All right, just check my money right here.
You get money from the encounter.
Doesn't 101k include money from the encounter?
I don't think it does.
You can return home.
I might have to.
Yeah, I think you have to.
Dang.
I mean, at least for the second walk, like, you do have an encounter, but you can just, like, run the whole way through.
I think I made a mistake. I should have just rolled it, but I mean, the run can be unfinishable if I don't have enough money, so that's probably enough. All right, 101.
Yeah.
Now I have to now I have to try to run from 3 encounters, so that's cool. Wait, can I mug these guys still? No, I already mugged them. That's a fail.
Do you get an encounter when you have to run through here?
Yes.
Yeah, you could reset with mug though, right? Or
No, I mugged all of them already.
Oh, okay.
You guys are not weak to sword, right?
You have to be careful with even mercs too,
I do.
because
I should have enough, I think.
yeah,
I still have enough.
yeah. I think you have enough for 1 more mercs, like for the encounters in there.
This is the one. Oh.
Nope, never. I'm also down. I'm down a flee attempt because I tried to mercs on the first turn. So that would have taken me until turn 5 if I want a guarantee. Anything else from the host?
Yeah, just like to mention that after this run, we have coming up a Crystallis any percent glitchless run. And we have a couple of incentives coming up for that. For $750, you get to see the bonus cutscenes, and we are $399 into that, so just over halfway, but still some headway to make for that. And we also have a incentive for naming the hero. Currently have Lapis leading at $50, followed by No Link at $15, and Goose at $5. So that is entirely up in the air, and you can swing that very easily.
Didn't you sell the olives for an extra 2,000?
I could have. I just refreshing gem sold for more.
Yeah,
so.
should be good.
Yeah. We save here.
Just gotta get out of 3 encounters.
Heart of the cards.
It's that simple. And we know they're not weak to sword.
They're weak to axe.
Axe. Okay. It's just like cringe chameleons from the first Octopath.
Nice.
Also,
Yeah,
really
we were just letting the chameleons make a cameo.
All right. So like I never have to take an encounter on the screen, so I don't know the weaknesses as well as I do the ones in here. This one I should be able to full sprint because I got the chest already.
That's what you do in single story, right? You just full sprint this screen.
Yeah. Oh no, you still have to get the money.
Oh.
Yeah, you still have to get the money. I think you get the ISL. This should be.
Oh,
I think I'm dead.
yeah. I think if you had gone first, maybe.
Yeah.
If you didn't get ambushed, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
getting through this area is like really scary.
Let's top off actually. I think I'm missing HP.
You live by under 400 HP. That was the difference.
Maybe. This is not shield. It doesn't matter, I don't think. Or not when I say shield, sword.
Yeah.
I think you generally have to try for it anyways, right? They don't do
Yeah.
that much damage.
Yeah.
Hey, it's that easy.
Unless like they get multiple.
I cannot.
turns.
Also, obviously, I can't break 5 shields in 1 turn with anything.
Yeah.
Are you out of healing? I don't know.
I got
That's
healing.
not- okay.
I also have apothecary as a backup.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Do you need to use a MP for the final boss?
What? LP?
No.
SP?
Yeah. Sorry, SV.
I have to use barrage once.
He's got a good amount.
Yeah. Barrage, I think, is 10 SP. Ambush City.
Level 45 zone.
Not my lucky day.
Which Octopath 2 character do you think would be the most likely to say det?
Well, we established it's Particio, right?
Particio.
But after Particio, I think we said it was Hikari.
Okay.
I think Particio would be the most likely. He's just there for memes.
I feel like Throne is pretty high up there.
I'm fine. This is fine. Heal once, then defend. Why do I have 2 Great Bems? I mean, I'm not complaining.
You should be able to defend and tank this next attack, right? Yeah, there
Yeah.
you go.
All right, I made it through Dusk Run. Just have to heal one more time.
Oh yeah, I forgot healing is based on your magic defense, which you
Yeah.
you have to wear armor in most solos, so you heal quite a bit.
Yeah. All right, so this is Harvey. Before he fights me, he sticks these 2 small golems on me. And it's pretty simple, just Soulstone and Beastlings. The Harvey fight itself is usually fine. If I get bad turn order, I can die. But because he spends a lot of his turns trying to sleep me, I'm pretty safe. And good, I got the level up there. So just like that one mug, Harvey is also weak to all 3 barrage elements. So he's weak to fire, ice, and thunder. So if I use elemental barrage, I'll guarantee take out 3 to 5 shields. I'm hoping it's not 3.
You gotta play the dialogue.
Nice.
The crowd has to hear Dio.
What dialogue?
Yes.
Yes.
Harvey!
Now here he's gonna charge up 1 True Magic. Okay, so this can be a little. This can lead to. Now he's gonna charge up 1 True Magic 2, which means when he comes out of break, he's gonna charge up 1 True Magic 3. I'm only spec to survive 1 True Magic 2. If I go last on the last turn, I might die. So we hope. All right, so last time this game was at Limit Break, we played this dialogue. We're gonna play it again because it's too good. Shut up. Yo, chill. The Harvey is voiced by Takahito Koyasu, who some of you might know as the Japanese voice of the poop emoji. Jam. All right, as long as I get the damage rolls, this is a win. He's in red health. This should die. All right.
We have to end that with the Harvey.
End it with the
Is
Harvey.
that 3 for 3 Harveys?
Yeah, that's 3 for 3 Harvey.
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I gotta do one last scrutinize, and then I think 1 cutscene skip, and time is on the fin screen. So I'll call it out. And time. All right, thank you, RPG Limit Break for having me once again, and thanks to the donators for donating for Osvald. I kept it kind of quiet, but I did want Osvald to win this one, so I'm glad that I did. Any of you want to give any shout-outs?
Shoutouts to the Octopath community. Shoutouts to Anime Fan, Jack, and everyone else who worked on the solo routes. Huge contributors to the solo runs.
Yeah, Anime Fan routed a lot of solo runs and kind of retouched a lot of ones that were, had routes that were gathering dust and weren't as optimal. I don't think he ever did this one, but I did the bulk of the work on this one last year. But yeah, shout outs also to Zazu, who worked on the Ochet one that could have won. Oh, and Sneaky Peek, who also did a bunch of solos, including Throne and
Particio.
Particio.
Particio did Particio as well.
Yeah, the solo community, the solo traveler speedrun community has a portion of it has been rising quite a bit. It's really cool to see the routes pop up and improved on.
Yeah, there's a lot of creativity that goes into making these solos work out. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching and donating, and enjoy the next interview in Crystallis.
Thank you so much for that amazing run, Bramhall. As we just heard, next up we're going to have Crystallis, Any Percent Glitchless by the Axeman. I am not going to be joining you all for that run. My time as host is just about up here, so thank you all very much for having me, and I'm going to hand you all over to the very capable hands of Cece, who'll be relieving me and will be taking you through the next run. So thanks very much, folks. I'll see you all later in the week.
Thank you very much, Drukaden. Hello, everyone. My name is Cece. I'm sorry you're going to lose the accent. Please don't make me do it. It's not going to go well. Welcome to RPG Limit Break 2025. We're going to throw it over to a chat over at the interview area with leggystarscream and Moonblaze Wolf. Take it away.
All right, we are here now. Hi, Leggy.
Hey, how you doing?
Great, it's good to see you again.
Great to be back.
Yeah, it's so nice to be here in Denver for RPG Limit Break 2025. I think everybody's having a fantastic time so far, and we're excited to have you back as well.
Yeah.
You're going to be doing a run later tonight of Secret of Varonis, which I've been learning about since we were getting ready to do this interview and everything. This is a title that was inspired by the Final Fantasy Legends series, which I know is very near and dear to your heart and to a lot of our viewers and people who like RPG Limit Break, but they might not have heard much about Secret of Varonis itself.
Yeah.
You are the world record holder of the run you're going to do tonight. You wrote the book. You're also 50% of the speedrunning community for the game, from what you were telling me earlier. Tell everybody what you think they should know about Secret of Varonis, maybe not just as a speed game, but also just a general overview in case they want to check it out.
Yeah, so first and foremost, the notes might have my name on it, but they're based on the work of especially Inven, who is the other runner on the leaderboard. But The Secret of Varonis is an indie game, came out early 2024, and like you said, very heavily inspired by the Final Fantasy Legends series. So it's got the 4 human, esper, monster, robot sort of species that you can build a party from and go through. They've got this really beautiful Game Boy aesthetic going on, but it's still a very modern game, taking a lot of modern design decisions and lessons that we've learned since then, and really taken the formula and reinvigorated it and made something really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it sounds like, like you said, you're a fan of the series for a very long time. I'm sure you just kind of leapt at the chance to play like a modern Final Fantasy Legend game. So when you're getting ready to do your run or when you're in your run, I imagine there's certain things that can happen as in most games. So what makes the difference between kind of like an okay run and a great run when you're going through it?
Yeah, that's actually a really good question, because one of the options the game provides is called fixed mode, where they fix a lot of the RNG elements of it. There's no random encounters. Battles will play out the same way in a given run if you have to reset and try again. But there's a little bit of manipulation we can do. So even despite the low level of variance that you'd think that would apply, there's still a lot of fights that could be really tricky. So a really good run is one that gets past most fights first try. There is one other factor, which is Esper level ups are random as you go. So after a battle, your Esper could get more agility, more mana, or the big one, more HP. The more HP ups we get over the course of the run for the Esper, the better.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, that's not the stat you would typically expect to be maxing out in an RPG run, but I'm sure you'll have plenty of time to talk more about that later, but that's kind of interesting. I would not have guessed that, if you'd laid out the menu of stat options, like, which is the one that you want? HP probably would have been like one of the last ones I picked, so that's funny to hear.
Well, we're not worried about maxing it. We're just worried about having enough to survive some hits.
That's fair. That is very fair for sure. So, and you do have some incentives for the run tonight as well. They're open right now. They're naming incentives for 3 of the 4 characters, and we were talking about this before the event. Why not all 4 characters? What is going on with that other character that donors don't get a chance to name?
Yeah, so that is in fact the Esper who we were just mentioning, who gets random level ups and random new abilities at the end of fights. In fixed mode, that the RNG is fixed for some fights, so we can predict what level up moves they're going to get when you beat some specific fights. One of those became critical to the routing, but we found out in a marathon run that the name you give the Esper determines what moves they get as part of that RNG factor.
Oh my gosh.
And it just turns out that the default name worked perfectly for what we were trying to route.
Oh, okay, interesting. So that was found out in a marathon, presumably because there was a naming incentive or something,
Yep.
and it's like, wait a minute, nothing is going right now. Is that kind of what happened? Oh my gosh.
We managed to name the Esper Natara, so
Natara had a bad day at the office.
yeah.
Oh.
And like it was still doable, but you know, I was definitely thrown off because I didn't know that was going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, and how else would you know, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's super interesting. So, but yeah, so everybody will be able to donate for the other 3 characters except the Esper because they might name it Natara and throw you off again, or something else. But yeah. So we were talking a little bit at the beginning. You know, we're back at RPG Limit Break. We're at Denver. I know you haven't been to RPG Limit Break for a little bit. How does it feel to be back?
It feels so good to be back. Like last year, I wanted to go, but unfortunately, due to reasons very far outside of my control, I couldn't make it out. But I've just been telling everyone, being here feels like coming back home.
I feel the same way for sure. I've got a lot of those vibes, so I'm glad it feels the same way to you too. So you got your own run tonight. I'm sure you're hanging out with a lot of friends. You're probably kind of, keeping tabs on other people's runs and stuff like that. Is there anything specific that you're looking forward to later this week that you're just like, this is, if I had to pick one thing that like Leggy Starscream is excited about at RPG Limit Break, what would that be?
So I have 2 answers to that.
That's fine.
Because one of them is a little gauche. You know, as one of the runners of the Final Fantasy XIV Shenanigans run, I have to rep that a little bit. It's going to be fun. We're doing a pseudo crowd control thing with the bid war. Definitely check that out if you want to see 8 people just get absolutely trolled by a wonderful host.
Oh my gosh. And that is Friday evening. Depending on where you're at. Friday, local time roughly evening. 8-person run. I don't know if RPG Limit Break has had an 8-person run before.
I don't think so.
Well, they're going to get it this year, and you're going to be one of the 8. We're so excited to have that, absolutely. And yeah, they're going to Final Fantasy XIV. Like, what more do you need to say? Like, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be a spectacle, and you won't want to miss that for sure. What was the other thing? You said there was one other one.
The other one that comes to mind is the Pokemon Let's Go Diploma run, where we'll have one person playing Eevee, one person playing Pikachu, and they're both going to fill out the Pokedexes entirely.
Oh, that'll be great.
I've done that run before with a friend of mine, Dijon Ketchup, and it is a blast every single time. And the runners, I believe it's Joker Sleeps and T-Pat, have been doing such a good job of grinding it out and really optimizing this sort of longer, sort of less ground out run into something really amazing.
That's going to be exciting too, and I believe that's on finale day. Because I'm hosting right before that, so I'm going to have a lot of fun. Maybe getting everybody ready for Pokemon on Saturday morning. But yeah, I'll probably want to stick around for that one afterwards too. So very good. Whole incredible schedule all week long. We called out some of the highlights. Your run tonight is a highlight for a lot of people as well. I know we can't wait to see it. So thank you so much, Leggy, for doing this interview. Just want to talk about a couple quick things before we send it back over to Cece, because we have our next runs coming up. We're getting into our Crystallis block. We were debating earlier how to say that. I am Team Crystallis. I don't know if other people feel free to disagree with me, but I am on Team Crystallis. We're going to have the Axeman and then Uranium Anchor doing randomizer afterwards. So back-to-back Crystallis runs, hosted by CC coming up after this interview. A couple things I just want to shout out because we've got a little bit of time for these, but I want to kind of plant some seeds in your brain, everybody that's watching. We have some bigger prizes. We have some big prizes for you to win this week through your donations. So for a minimum of $50 through Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, you could win a Wooting 80HE keyboard. I am starting to get a little bit into mechanical keyboards, I know that is one of like the really cool, really good ones. So you'll definitely want to try to get your hat in the ring for that one if you can. We have a custom Nintendo DS Lite. I believe these are all over here over my left shoulder. So maybe we'll show those off just a little bit here. Yeah, there's the DS. Custom Nintendo DS Lite provided by Custom Game Boys. I should have mentioned with the keyboard that was provided by Sanjan, so thank you, Sanjan, for that. The Custom DS Lite is $75 cumulative through the Dark Lord run later on. And then we have our Nintendo Switch 2 bundle as well, which is $200 cumulative, donated by the staff of RPG Limit Break through the finale, through the entire week. As you can see, very official, but it is going to be a Nintendo Switch 2 bundle with, I believe, Bravely Default 2. That we're going to be giving away. So RPG-themed Nintendo Switch 2 bundle. If you're like me and haven't been able to secure a pre-order yet, we don't like that. But it is what it is. So the last thing I want to just mention to everybody is we have our first save point coming up later today. Now, the save point is something that is brand new for RPG Limit Break 2025. We're going to be having them today, Wednesday, and Friday. And the concept of the same save point is very simple, kind of two things. We want to keep the marathon on schedule. So we've got those really big, exciting runs that are going to be coming at you in the evening time. We want you to not miss those. So we're going to make sure that we get back on schedule if we get running a little bit behind or maybe even a little bit ahead so that you know when you can tune in to see those runs that we're all very excited for. I think the first one tonight is the DQ11 race, if I'm not mistaken. So the other thing is we're going to use that as time to just have some fun around here at RPG Limit Break. So we'll get some fun stuff going on. We have a bonus run that got inserted into the save point today. Final Fantasy 15 Pit House Showcase by Ashen Prime. There's actually a costume choice bid war as well. You can actually bid on an incentive that's related to that run. So just a lot of stuff going on. And I don't want to keep anybody waiting any longer. We're going to get to our Crystallis block, and I'm going to send it back to Cece at the host mic to introduce that. So thank you again, Leggy. And everybody else, keep enjoying RPG Limit Break. We're only on Monday. It's going to be a great week.
Thank you very much, Moonblaze Wolf and Leggy. Great job. We have $25 from Tornal. This goes out to the X-Man and Uranium Anchor. Good luck on the runs and watch out for Tornal huggers. And I just want to remind everybody, we have a bonus cutscene incentive for Crystallis. It's at $424 out of $750. You gotta see Ski Free. So get those donations in. Let's meet that. That incentive is cut off at about 5 minutes into the run.